This is Scott the Fix-It Guy. Today we're dealing with an LG refrigerator that is icing up and leaking in the bottom freezer. So we open up the door, pulling out the container that has all the food, and then we're going to remove the door by pressing in on these plastic tabs with a standard head screwdriver. And we're going to pull the metal part of the drawer toward us slightly. Do the same thing on the other side. And then we can just slide the whole thing out. Pretty easy to do once you get those things undone. So we've got the door off, gives us a little bit of room to work, and we're just going to try to break up this sheet ice, get this out of the way. And then we can do some work to figure out why we're getting this dribble of water. It's probably we have a little bit of ice caught in the drain line. Just got to get this stuff out of here first. We'll be removing these panels. Just make sure you have it unplugged and be able to do this. Pretty common problem that the drain line gets iced up, and then the water during the defrost cycle doesn't have anywhere to go, so it just dribbles down, and then when the defrost cycle is over, the freezer kicks back in and does its job and freezes the water, and you get this kind of problem. And sometimes there's so much water that is melted during the defrost cycle that some of it comes out, and you have a leaky refrigerator, which can damage floors. So this video just show us some simple ways of taking care of this. And now we got all that ice out of the way, we're going to go ahead and remove these panels back here. And living right down here is a tray that picks up all the water that melts off of this evaporator, and then goes down a tube, so the tube is just stuck. So while I'm going to do that just simply, I'll start boiling some water. I'll use the boiling water to help melt that chunk of ice that's blocking the water flow. A hook tool, get in behind here, pull at the top, get over here too, and just pull this thing toward me, and then it let go. This is going to give me access to the back. And then to get this off, we have a couple of modular plugs here. Seems a little stubborn, so I'm going to use these pliers to get in there, pull these out. There we go. Alright, I think this thing will come out now. Let's see. Oh, sorry, we're still hooked up here, so we're going to push in on this one, get this guy out. There we go. Okay, I think that does it. So this panel will come off. This has the fan in it. Just going to get over and let this drain, and then we're going to be attacking that ice next. So the drain is like right here, but it's covered with ice, so I'm going to use this thing to kind of break up the ice first. And then I'll use some hot water to get in there and really get at it. Just be a little careful when you're in here with the paint scraper. You want to avoid making contact with this stuff because it's pretty fragile. But you can see the ice underneath. It's pretty thick. See, let me break it up a little bit. I can get a fracture in here, then I can get this stuff off a lot faster than having to melt it all. slushy. There's a big chunk. There we go. So now we should be able to slide this big chunk out of here. We can do it on the other side too. So pretty big, thick. That's probably the main thing that was blocking the water flow out of this refrigerator, and that caused it to back up, and that caused the leaking and caused the ice buildup. Usually what happens is this heating rod gets kind of weak over time, and it doesn't get hot enough to throw enough down into where the drain hole is over here. So what I might do today is actually put a little wire to bring heat down into that drain hole. I'll show you guys how to do it. Let's get this ice out of here. So I got the boiling hot water here and an empty one here. And I'll use my turkey baster to just pull out water that's melted already. Kind of hangs out there. I'm going to put a little bit of that boiling hot water in this ice, try to break it up a little bit better. And it just chews right through that ice. That looks better. So we probably get it out now. Use my tools. Hard to get a purchase on that thing. Okay. Pulling some more of the lukewarm water out of there and replace it with the boiling water. Right where my turkey baster is the low point where the water drains out of the machine. It goes down a little tube, and that tube is just full of ice, and that's why the water can't drain out. So once we get this ice block moved, when we get the lukewarm water out of there, we're going to add the boiling water, and that'll start to eat up that ice block. So here comes the boiling water. And now, just kind of going back and forth with that boiling water by pushing in and out of the turkey baster. And it may take a bunch of tries of replacing it until that water finally drains. So I'm going to pull that water out, put more boiling hot water in. Just going back and forth. It's a pretty effective technique. You just got to be patient. It takes a while. You usually can hear the water when it starts to flow. And I just pulled out some of the lukewarm water. Lukewarm. Here comes some more boiling water. Let that boiling water sit for a little bit. Get some more. Here's some more of that big ice block that was in the way. Here's another piece. A couple of pieces left here. We gotta get out. There we go. Careful of the sheet metal here, it's very sharp. Okay, one more chunk there. It's pretty thick. We're just boiling some more water too. I think we're almost done with melting the ice that's down in this hole. Come on out of there. It's pretty thick. There we go. We got all that out. Okay, there's that hole again. Let me get some of that lukewarm water out of there. It's a pretty common problem for all refrigerators. So here's our panel, has a couple of fans there and also a sensor for the computer to know how cold it is in the freezer. Got our heating element fixed. Put this back in and we're going to just plug in the stuff and then basically push this back into position. So this one's got to go there. That's pretty flexible, so don't worry about it. Just bending it a little bit. So I got this lower part in at a diagonal to get past the rail. I have to bend it back a little bit so I can see where these guys are going. This one goes, the red one goes on the bottom. It's for one of the fans. And the top one goes on, our white one goes on top with the catch on the top. This plugs right in. This little sensor goes in there. Harder to reach. Closer. So I gotta turn it. The catch is to my left. And I'm gonna push in the panel so I can click it. Now it's clicked in. My hand out of there. Let's try to go top first. In at the top. We'll try pushing in at the bottom. Ridges over top. There's one. The other one I'm gonna kind of hold with my left hand and then push with my right hand to get this guy back in. Okay, I'm gonna really push in here at the top until things click. All right, that looks good. So the door, the way we took it out, it's pretty cool because it goes in real modular. Some metal things are going to slide in, they're going to click there and there, and that's it. So don't hurt your back, take your time. Pushing these metal things back in like rails. And then we're going to push them back in until they click into place. You can push the whole door in first. Then, it's still not clicked in. What you want to do next is now grab this part of the metal plate, push in, and you'll see it click. Here's one. Do the side. That one clicked. Okay, so that should give you a good solid door closure.